My name is Lucas Chase. I'm the Director of Operations here at the Mabel Tainter. I grew up on stage here doing productions as a child. My mom worked here in the 90s and 2000s, so I'd often come to work with her as a kid. The Mabel has just a ton of history to it, and the Tainter spared no expense when putting it together. The Tainters were really a big founding family in Menomonie. They were silent partners, or Andrew Tainter was a silent partner in the Knapp Stout Lumbering Company. Some of the wealthiest people lived here in town, including John Hawley Knapp, William Wilson, who was the first mayor of Menomonie and who lived at Wilson Place, James Huff Stout, and then Andrew Tainter kind of formed the Knapp Stout Company. They logged a white pine up from the Red Cedar River Valley, shipped it down to the Mississippi, went all the way down to St. Louis, Missouri.
Log drivers worked 15-hour days to get the logs moving and to keep them on their way. 12-foot pike poles of black spruce or ash with screw tips were used to pull and prod the bulky logs. Sometimes dynamite charges were placed under key logs to break up snags and jams.
Mabel Tainter was the daughter of Andrew and Bertha Tainter. She was a huge lover of the arts and loved going to different arts events in Menomonie at the time. There are numerous different opera houses and arts venues here in Menomonie in the late 19th century. And Mabel tragically passed away at the age of 19 from what they said was cancer of the side, and which we now believe to be a ruptured appendix. Due to the fact that they made so much money from this organization and company that they had here in Menomonie, they were able to build this facility as a memorial to Mabel and as a community center for everyone to enjoy.
People hear random voices, children laughing, random footsteps across the stage when there's no one there. Yeah, there's all sorts of experiences like that people have had.
I'll come in, many mornings, and a lot of the seats around the theater will be put down. So I spend, at least go through the theater once a day with seats that I know I put up the day before that are down again. We kind of have our three known resident ghosts, which we hear the most of. We have the Lady in White, we have the Lady in Gray, and then we also have the Shadowed Man. The Shadowed Man we believe to be Henry Doty Maxon. He's often seen up in the balcony, and he was the first Unitarian pastor here at the Mabel. His box is just up stage right of me here, and that is his box and his family's box. And we'll see, have a lot of people tell us that they saw kind of a shadowed figure there.
Henry is pretty frequent. Henry likes to mess with the tech equipment and cause a lot of frustration for the tech people as well as the performers. When this was the Unitarian Society of Menomonie, he would stand center stage every Sunday and give a sermon. And so a lot of people think that they still have experienced the ghost of Henry.
He's usually up kind of hanging out near his office in the back of the balcony. This is definitely, when we have paranormal investigators, this is definitely the more active room in the building where they spend most of their time. Have his last sermon here up on the chalkboard. That's his handwriting there. It says, "He who has caused no fear to the smallest creature has no cause to fear when he dies." He went home for lunch that day and then passed away from a brain aneurysm that afternoon. He was only 35, I believe. He convinced the Tainters to build the memorial. The Lady in White, she's also kind of seen in the back of the balcony and on the marble staircase. We believe her to be one of the seamstress of productions.
She's usually seen up in the balcony on tech rehearsal nights judging the costumes.
There's a lot of appearances of her during opening productions that people will say they've see weird things happening throughout the building. And I have a document that we can highlight later showing the best picture that we have of the Lady in White. So this was taken last year here in the box office, but you actually got a nice picture of the supposed Lady in White that we have here in the Mabel. You can see her, she's pretty detailed. Looks like she's wearing kind of a long Victorian dress sitting on the steps there in the entrance of the Mabel. That's probably the most detailed picture that we have here of any spirits or any kind of apparitions. But as you can see, it's pretty detailed outline there.
Has anyone ever left before willing to come back?
Just the staff member that we had downstairs, he was cleaning some of the bathrooms, turned around and said he saw a full-figured individual and ran out of the building and has never been back again. We also have the Lady in Gray, and she's more kind of our downstairs resident. I'm not quite sure of her backstory, but she usually hangs out at the bottom of the staircase in the basement and near the historical bathrooms. We've had a number of patrons refuse to come back into the building, and even a couple, or one in particular, staff member who saw the Lady in Gray downstairs, and that was the last time he was ever in the building.
I would tell you that sandstone has a large quantity of quartz, and the entire building is built out of sandstone and has a large portion of quartz in that. And quartz can withhold and release electricity or small amounts of electromagnetic fields. Some people think that when we put the addition on in 2006, 2007, we've seen a lot more people who have had experiences or frequencies. The new sandstone, which was quarried from the original quarry, where all the original sandstone came from, could have recharged the sandstone quartz, and that's why there's more EMF, electromagnetic field activity, or that the ghosts are just really pissed about the addition. So it's hard to say, but we have a lot of people who've had experiences here over the years.
With all the people that have loved the building so much, I just feel like it's a really active place for many spirits. The only thing that affects you really feel if you're here by yourself that you're not here by yourself. You never feel like you're quite alone. But again, they're welcoming you into the building. It's not a scary place to be by any means.